All
And good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the next episode, 500 Miles. I'm your normal host, Adam Relkin. Again, Brody will be away for a while, but don't worry, he will be back eventually. Joining us tonight is Joe Staubs.
Hello.
Yep, yep. Nice having you on again. For those who
Thank
don't
you.
know, me and Joe met up back at Dover a few weeks ago for the first
Mhm.
time. And that's kind of how we got to know each other. And I mean, he's really good about
Yep.
talking about the sport. Thought it would be great to bring him on as one of our rotating guests for this
Thank
week.
you.
So, the
Well,
first thing that's on everyone's mind is easily SVG. It's
oh yeah.
without a doubt SVG. Like,
Mhm.
I don't think anyone's ever going to beat him on a road course again at this point, as long as he's still in the field.
There's evidence there that he's not even going 100% during these races. He's going 70, 80% during these runs, saving his tires, and he just smokes everybody when it's time to actually push. And it's just, I don't know if we're ever going to have a road course racer in Cup, at least in the near future, that can match SVG because he just does everything so much better than everyone else.
Yeah, no, yeah, everyone does it perfect. Well, no, no, no. No one does it perfect like SVG, and I just think that it's going to be really hard for anyone to really take him on. I mean, he led a good amount of this race as well. Uh, not from start to finish, but he still led a lot, and he ended up winning
Right.
by, I think, 11 seconds on the
Around there,
field.
around 10. The
Yeah.
second and third weren't even in the frame when he crossed the start and finish
No,
line.
like, and for those
Mhm.
who may have been watching, like, it looked like it was a qualifying lap
Yeah.
with how it
I-
looked.
he,
With how it
he
looked,
might
I
have
mean,
he might have been running qualifying laps out towards the end just for fun because he knew he was so far ahead of everybody else. He can just do what he wanted up there, and as long as he didn't mess up, he'd win.
yeah, and this ends up being his fourth win on the year. He now I think has 22 playoff points, if I'm not mistaken.
Around there,
Yeah,
should be around
20.
there.
Yeah, I believe he's up to 22 playoff points, so he's really smoking all these guys on these road courses.
Hmm.
And this is why Trackhouse took him, because they knew that this would be their secret weapon in the field, and it's really paid off a lot. I mean, it really has. And from what it looked like, I mean, he just was like, I don't think we're ever going to see someone this good again. I mean,
I don't know. I don't think so. They knew when they signed him that he was a sort of golden ticket for them into the playoffs, a guaranteed spot where, oh, if Ross and Daniel don't win, well, Shane's probably going to win one of these road courses. And they know how much of an advantage they have there with him because he's just toying around with these guys at this point. It's crazy, but
yeah,
that's why they extended him with that contract extension because he's going to be an automatic playoff berth for them. And with the amount of playoff points he's built up, he could very well end up making it beyond the round of 16.
yep. And I think that it's just something that really has to be celebrated with how good he's been. I mean, we go through the finishing results. I mean, as we mentioned, SVG, he ended up leading 38 laps out of 90. And this race also went by in a heat, like just like in 2023. This race only went
Oh,
just
absolutely.
above 2 hours. So, in
Yep.
general, though, I
That-
mean, I wasn't able to watch the race live because I was coming home from Boston this weekend, but I did end up
Right.
catching a replay. Admittedly, wish the race could
Mhm.
have been a bit better in terms of passing. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
I
It,
think
it was a
I
bit
th-
hard to pass.
I think stage 3 did improve. Stage 3 things did pick
Mhm.
up a bit, I will admit, but from what I did
Right.
catch stage 1 and 2, it was too hard to pass, which I
It
think it
was
goes
very
back
hard to
to
pass.
I think it kind of goes back to some of the complaints we that I talked about in the show from Iowa, where the next gens made it too hard to pass at this point. It worked at the start of this car. Like it's just the thing is the teams have figured out this car so much with all the technology and data that they got that they figure out, oh,
Mhm.
if we do this, because everyone's running about the same now because they've got all the same stuff.
Yeah,
There's only like 3 teams that aren't that from the field that really weren't up to date, like 78, 66, 44. Like they don't have
exactly.
as much as like the
Mhm.
last chartered car. So like it's something that I
No.
think should definitely be kept. It's just something
Yeah,
that
these things. I don't know if it's the diffuser. They just create so much dirty air to where it is such a chore and a challenge to be able to pass anybody. I feel like it was more noticeable at Iowa than Watkins Glen, but Watkins Glen, I feel like, is the worst case of dirty air we've seen at a road course in the past year because none of the other road courses are as fast as Watkins Glen. And it's just,
Yeah.
I guess it's just more prevalent there, but I don't. These cars, just something needs to be fixed. The tires are too fat. The diffuser just dirty
I
air.
don't think the diffuser is really much the problem. I think there's more different factors. And we will talk about
There's a lot.
fixing the next gen. I think that there's other factors that can be looked into. Now, I think that they can fix this car. It's just that, at the same time, even if we do fix the car, and this is an issue that I don't think I've really talked about on this show that much, that with the teams having so much access to like data and stuff, is it time for maybe NASCAR to step in and limit how much data they can take?
I'd say so, absolutely. I think it'd be fun to see what these teams do with less data because it's going to take more out of everybody. And I feel like the data really, if anything, just lets the top guys pull too far away again. But also, with everybody working with the same stuff, you can only improve so much before you really just plateau out. So I think absolutely, I want to see them take away some of this data and challenge these teams.
Yeah, because I just think that it would lead to some more action going on. I would I mean
Mhm.
would we still see some of the challenges we have today? Yes, but if we took away the data today, it's possible that, some of these things that the teams track are going to be harder to deal with and it can throw things off, which I think would be great because it's
Mhm.
great for the teams to not
It
have an
would be.
expectation.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah,
my take on it. It's great for the
we need
teams
to
to not have an
challenge them.
expectation. Yeah,
Exactly. We need to challenge them. Give them a challenge. Throw something unexpected at them.
yeah. So if
These
I go
guys are professional
yeah.
problem solvers.
Yeah. And I think and I know there were some comments, and I know when it comes to the next gen car, I talked about it last week. How guys like Harvick, Denny Hamlin, Jeff Gluck, some of those guys, Dale Earnhardt Jr. kind of talked about not liking the car. I could see where they're all going.
Mhm.
But also on Door Bumper Clear yesterday, Connor Zilish was also saying that like there are some difficulties that I have with driving this car, and he said he
Mhm.
enjoys driving the Xfinity car a lot more, which it's a lot more looser and such, and I
Yep.
mean, I think the Cup car is still definitely very hard to drive, but
Oh, no doubt.
but
It's a challenge for these guys.
I just think that it's something that I did catch, and I am curious if with more people coming out and talking about it, if we will see more changes. Now, I do think we will see changes. When, I don't know. I know
So-
I
Sooner
know
or later, they keep saying they're making them.
yeah, I know the biggest one right now is horsepower, which from what it's but right now though, and I talked about it last week, I'm a bit disappointed because it seems like it's only going to be short tracks next year. Like I feel that some tracks, would also benefit a lot from more horsepower. Like some of the road courses, some of the intermediates like
Yeah.
Nashville, for example, Nashville and
Mhm.
Darlington. Like remember when they were doing the 550 and then in 2021 they decided, "Oh, we're going to give Nashville and Darlington a horsepower boost too."
750,
Yeah, they went to
and it paid off.
750 in 2021 for those. I think that's kind of what I would like to see as well because I think
I think so.
it would greatly also help
Mhm.
things out with both. Now, the Cup cars right
Yep.
now are 650 horsepower. It would
670.
670, excuse me. But
Mhm.
if we
No,
go
you're
to
okay.
oh, I did say it right. But if we go to 750, I think I don't think it will help a lot, but it will definitely help in some ways. Now,
It'll help in some ways.
the same issues we have with the next gen would still be relevant, but at the same time, I do think that it will be easier for guys to make mistakes, and when guys make mistakes, it
Mhm.
will be harder to recover from it. That's just something that, and I think it will help, but
Mhm.
but
I
not a whole lot.
I don't think there is a single track that wouldn't benefit from having more horsepower. I think more
I agree.
horsepower is absolutely the answer. Start off at 750, at least where they were at before. Challenge these guys. We got to make these cars hard to drive, and they are hard to drive, but it's not in like a fun way like it is at the Xfinity cars. These guys are having fun with the Xfinity cars. I think the goal is for this to be just as enjoyable for the drivers as it is for the fans watching. So I think more horsepower, absolutely the move.
Yeah, and also when it comes to fixing the car, we had some pitches come in from people who actually have experience with building cars. Two guys that I absolutely love, Bozy Tatarovic. You gotta love Bozy. I don't know why people are starting to call him a NASCAR shill. That's completely stupid. Yeah, there's people calling him a shill because he was saying that there were points where you could pass even after a restart. But I mean, I don't know why people are calling him shill. I mean, he had to tweet out, "I'm not being paid by anybody
Yeah,
to say
that's
stuff like
insane.
that."
I mean, you should be allowed to agree sometimes because not everything is automatically bad. They were able to pass here and there, but it was still
Still
too
too
hard to
hard.
pass. It's okay to say both.
Yeah, like that's what I was kind of trying to say. Like I thought it was pretty. It's sad though because if now in this world of NASCAR social media, if you say one thing that goes out of line with what everyone else is saying, you get called a shill. I'm
You're
just
still. Mhm.
it's like you're. This isn't like Kyle Petty or guys like that. I mean, I don't know what Kyle. I mean,
No,
I watched what Kyle Petty was saying yesterday, and I'm like, come on, man. Like you gotta
don't even
like
listen
come
to
on,
what he
Kyle.
says anymore because it's so
Yeah,
bad.
yeah, Kyle.
Just
I
how
mean,
petty.
Kyle, come on. Like you're better than this. I know it. So like I don't know what
Mhm.
I don't know what he was saying yesterday on PRN, but that kind of didn't make a lot of sense. Uh, so in terms of these ideas, I remember Bozy had suggested uh he had suggested 800 horsepower instead of 750. He then suggested removing the splitter stuffers, removing shock limiters, thin out rub blocks, and increase spoiler size. That's what he kind of wants to see
Yeah.
happen realistically. But then Cole
Mhm.
Pern came out of the woods and
I saw that.
replied saying these are mostly bad ideas. But I mean, I think it's great for both. And I mean, I know they did
Mhm.
kind of disagree with each other, but I think it's great for to have two guys come out saying what can we do to fix this car and
Mhm.
like
A
not people.
problem
Yeah,
can't be solved if people don't seek out to solve that issue. And I do honestly like the sound of his suggestions on how to fix the car, but maybe Cole Pern just has a different, view how to fix it, which is good. We need multiple viewpoints to come together
yeah,
and compromise and take everybody's best ideas to make this car better.
yeah. Like you know how we have a playoff committee now, and by the way, I am really happy that
Mhm.
NASCAR is working with almost 40 people. I think on that playoff committee. Like, I
Wow.
mean, Jeff Gluck mentioned he's on that committee. There's a bunch of other
Hmm.
people on there. Like, I'm really glad that NASCAR is doing that. And I mean, I know Cole Pern also gave in some ideas, but the only thing is he said all those ideas except horsepower were bad ideas. But I mean, I just think that it
Right.
would be good to put both of these guys, Bozy and Cole Pern, on a committee. And
Absolutely.
I was asking Cole Pern questions as well
Hmm.
on some things regarding the car, like which I mean, I'm glad he reached out to me. Bozy, not Bozy. Well, I'd love to have both of you guys on in the future, but Cole Pern, if you want to come on the show, call me up, dial me up. I'm right here. But
I'd
I
love to
think
see Cole Pern on here.
yeah, but Cole Pern was but yeah, I asked Cole Pern what the issue with short tracks was because he then said aero was not the issue with short tracks. He said, I asked, was it
Right.
horsepower? And he said tires, weight, power, shifting, brakes, all the cars are the same numbers in the wrong. I don't think the numbers being in the wrong spot has anything to do with the racing, but
Just doesn't like it.
I think he was just taking something out of the Mark Martin playbook,
Hmm.
which I think
I
that's just
think
what he
so.
was trying. I think that's just what he was trying to do. I don't think that actually had anything to do with
Right.
racing, but
Yeah.
he said but yeah, he had also been asked why aren't they doing the short track package at Bristol? Because for those who aren't familiar, they have not changed the package at all at Bristol and Dover. And
Yeah,
apparent
I noticed that.
there's been a thing as well where teams have reportedly been like, no, we don't want to do this. We don't want to fourth a so-called fourth aero package, which I then mentioned it to someone. Colpern then replied saying, "Gotta save money." And I ranted about this multiple times last week. Teams, you're also part of the problem. I know we technically shouldn't be saying that on here, but teams, like,
Willing to,
you gotta let NASCAR change things up. Like, I understand you guys want to save money, but what's more important to the fans here? Money
they got to
or
be willing
racing?
to work with everybody a little bit. Be reasonable, because if the teams aren't willing to do anything because of cost cutting, then nothing gets done, no changes get made to the car, and the product continues to suffer.
Yeah, and that just it frustrates me. I mean, it's sad that no one was seeing it through the walls, because it took until Jeff Gluck ranting about how they shot down that All-Star race proposal. And
Right.
teams like Rick Hendrick, Joe Gibbs, Roger Penske, you got to be willing. You all got big pockets as well. You got to be willing to let NASCAR change this car up and not hold it back. Like, you got to be
Right.
willing to do that. Denny Hamlin, you too. I don't know if you may have a different opinion than the three of them, but if you want them to change the car, it might be time to start talking with all the owners, Denny. Like,
You
but
gotta
yeah,
get together, and the teams need to get together and come to an agreement amongst themselves that they need to let NASCAR change this car up, because the
yeah,
product is just unacceptable at some of these tracks.
yeah, and I just really wanted to mention that again, because it really, and this is not the only thing the teams have held the sport over. They also, like, about practice. You know why we have only 20-minute
Mhm.
practice? Teams,
Cost cutting.
teams,
Teams.
and yet they spend their money in all these different areas because they know that they're going to have an advantage with all the wind tunnel testing time that they spend on instead. So, like, I think
Exactly.
that NASCAR could easily take away the wind tunnel testing stuff and let them practice on the track instead, like anyone normally would.
Mhm.
And then you're all at the same
I
speed.
like
Like,
that idea.
if we want parity, if we want more parity, we got to make sure that everything is that all the teams are treated to the same standard. Like, that's what I'm kind of trying to
Yeah.
angle for. And then Cole Pern, I'm glad he's talking about this too. Now, I know Cole Pern has not worked on this car that much. He's only done one race with the next gen with Martin Truex Jr., but it's still
There's
interesting,
500 this year.
yeah, he only's done one race in Cup with the next gen, but it's still very interesting to see what he's talking about. Same with Bosey. Bosey has been talking about this car since day one, which is a great thing, because, I mean,
It's great. Yeah.
but yeah,
Mhm.
I just wanted to kind of talk about the next gen a bit, because, I talked about it last week when I was on here, but I do want it
Mhm.
to, I think that it's something to think about. And Elton Sawyer also came on Sirius XM this morning. I
Mhm.
don't know if it was this morning or in the afternoon. He said he had said that he had said on Sirius XM channel 90,
Mhm.
and everyone started cherry picking the first line where he's like, "I think we've got a product that is good." Everyone was cherry picking
Oh
that
yeah,
part,
that's gonna
but
get cherry picked very hard.
then he said,
Mhm.
"But as we said last week, we're always going to look to make our product better." So, it is clear that, and he said this
They
after Bristol and
want it to be
Talladega
better.
too. So, like, I don't think anyone should be like, "Oh, NASCAR's not going to try anything." They probably are trying behind the scenes. There could easily be a
I wouldn't
different
doubt
Elton
it.
Sawyer behind the walls of meetings than an Elton Sawyer who appears on Channel 90. He's not going to out anybody who wants to hold up the development of this car. And think about it. If
Right.
Elton Sawyer
Mhm.
came on Channel 90 and instead said, "Oh, our car sucks," every single media outlet in this country, CNN, ABC, Fox, like, they're all going to say, "Oh,
It-
NASCAR just admitted we suck."
It's gonna be a
And
PR nightmare. You never
yeah,
do that.
yeah, you can't do that. Like, and I don't think fans realize, like, I don't think all these fans realize out there that NASCAR is not going to say we
Mhm.
suck on air. Like, that's what I
No.
feel like they want to happen here based off of all the comments
Yeah.
that came up.
It,
And then he
it really
said,
does feel like that.
yeah, and then he said, "Our goal is always to continue to make the product better. I can't emphasize enough that we're not stating so in what we have." Yeah, and he said the same thing at Bristol as well. They are trying to fix the short tracks, like with more horsepower, for example.
Right.
And then he said, as well as the super speedways. And that's the first time we've really seen him say, we will continue to work in those area on track as well. Like, that's the first time we've seen him really say, oh, we're open to changing the super speedway package, which that should be
I
big
haven't
to
heard that before.
fans.
That's big. That's
Yeah,
big, and
because
I haven't heard anybody talk about that.
yeah, I mean, Elton Sawyer said, as well as the super speedways where we've had some exciting racing, we will continue to work in that area on those tracks as well. So it seems like there's a lot of meetings that, could be happening. Do I expect any changes mid-season? No. The teams don't want changes mid-season. That's why Elton was also saying last week, we're not going to increase horsepower during the playoffs because then that's going to throw everyone off.
Yeah,
Like,
I understand that. I can understand that. I know some people were pretty upset about that, but I can understand not wanting to throw everybody off in the
yeah,
playoffs,
because then you risk
especially
engine
if there's.
failure. You risk
Mhm,
engine
yeah,
failures and all this other stuff too. So I don't think they want to
mhm,
run into that. Now I want to go in through the results of the race. So we had
yeah.
obviously SVG winning. Christopher Bell came in second. Now someone pointed out, I think it was Harris Slew, that had SVG not been leading, uh, that would have been a last lap pass from Christopher Bell on Chris Buescher for the win. Like,
That just
yeah,
shows how far ahead of everybody SVG is.
and he started doing burnouts after winning. Like, Bell hadn't even gotten to the line.
That's he's in his own zip code. He's out there in the lead, and Bell was. I don't even know if he was. He's probably just coming out of the carousel.
Yeah, I think that's what was going on. And then William Byron was fourth. Chase Briscoe has been on a great run as of late. And,
Absolutely.
like, Chase
I
Briscoe's
think.
start, yeah.
I think his he's proving why he was given a ride at JGR, and JGR, unlike SHR, has been able to give him equipment equal to his talent level and let him show everybody that he is a top flight driver. He can hang with the best in the Cup Series.
I absolutely agree. And I'm just really happy that to see Chase Briscoe and James Small also putting together a lot better strategy as of late.
Mhm.
Like I'm curious what changed because I know James Small was one of the most hated crew chiefs. Now he and Chase Briscoe have been on a hot streak as of late. Like something's
Mhm.
definitely clicked with that team. And this was also Daniel Suarez's first top 10 in I think 13 races. I think I saw something about that.
It has been a real struggle of a year for Daniel Suarez. Like, I know there are a lot of people out there who don't think he's the best driver out there. And I'm not saying he's a leader or anything, but even for his standards, this year has been off by a good bit. I don't know what's happening. Maybe it's behind the scenes tension with Trackhouse all year because obviously they're booting him out for likely Connor Zilich, but he's just been so off this year. But it's good to finally see him climb back into the top 10.
Yeah, and Suarez also, I mean, I want to also talk a little bit about Suarez a little more here because this was a run he needed because Spire is because it's rumored that he is the leading candidate to take over the 7 car next year if Justin Haley
Yeah.
were to be booted out of the car. That's mostly an
Mhm.
if, but from what it's looking like, Daniel Suarez is the leading candidate to drive the 7 car next year. So I just wanted to
Absolutely.
also pinpoint that.
I feel like in a sorts, I know he's not the only candidate for that car. So in a sorts, each good run he has in the 99 car for the rest of the year is an audition for the 7 car. It's showing, hey, Spire, I can still perform at a high level. Please hire me for your car because I've heard rumors of them talking to a few other people for that car. I think I heard Jesse Love was um, in the conversation for that. I saw Green Flag Pit Stop. I don't know how credible these rumors are, but they had said that Corey Haim's a possibility, but he'd still be tied to 2311 as a
That's a weird
development
one.
driver. I
That's a
don't
weird
I don't
one
know how much I'd buy
because
that one. That
I
is a
don't think
strange one.
I'm not gonna buy that one because Carson Hocevar then replied on Reddit saying "lol" regarding to that whole rumor. So
Yeah.
I don't think Corey Haim is going to Spire. I mean that whole thing was started by a guy who has a 50-50 track record right now, being Daily
Yeah.
Town Fords. Who's behind that
Oh
account,
yeah.
by the way?
I have no idea who's behind that account, but whoever they are has our whole community by a chokehold because recently they've posted some stuff that hasn't been blatantly false, and now everybody doesn't know is Downfords fake or not. But
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think Toyota would like Corey Heim being in a Chevy very much.
Yeah. The last time we saw something like this happen where someone got leased to another manufacturer was Chris Buescher when he was leased to JTG Daugherty. But at the same time, though, think about it. Like JTG Daugherty, which is now Hayek Motorsports, was not
Yes.
a was not a high is not a high Chevy team on the Chevy ladder.
They had no higher ties with any Chevy teams. I think they had like a slight alliance with RCR, but that's it. They were
Yeah.
kind of doing their own thing.
They got an alliance with Hendrick now, but it's not really a big one compared to what. And Spire, remember, Spire's mini Hendrick right now. So,
Yeah,
like, I don't think it would really be something that Toyota would like if 2311 were to lease in there. So that's why I
it
don't
just
buy
wouldn't
it
be in
at
their
all.
best interest.
Because when
No,
Chris Buescher was leased to a Chevy team, like, it was not a good one. So, or
no,
not one that
no.
was going to be competing every week. But so, like, I just wanted to kind of talk about that a little bit. And
It
then we
wasn't one
had
with a huge tie to Hendrick. I'm sure
Bubble. Yeah.
uh, that would be like a nightmare scenario for Toyota because once he's in one of those cars, there's a chance they could lose him completely.
Yeah. And then on the Toyota side of things, Bubba Wallace gets another top 10. He's been on a really big hot streak as of late. I'm really happy
Mhm.
for them. And then there were some other notable finishes in the field, like AJ Allmendinger coming home in 11th. Feels like AJ's not really been a contender at these road courses anymore. I don't know if it's Colleague
No,
or AJ himself. I mean, they're contenders on the. AJ's been a big contender on these ovals. But, like, it
right.
feels like something's changed. Like,
Something's taken a step back in colleagues' road course program, I think, because I don't have it in me to believe that AJ Allmendinger as a driver has fallen off at all at these road courses. I just don't think he's getting the cars to be able to go compete up front with everybody else.
yeah, it's definitely something to think about. And then, yeah, uh, and then we also had Eric Jones coming up to 12th. I mean, Legacy Motor Club this year has been incredible. Like,
They have
what
a
a
turnaround.
turnaround. I've talked about it multiple times on the show. Like Brody has said the same thing. Legacy has gone a complete 180 this year. They are doing so much better. And
Absolutely. It
Eric and like
makes me so happy to see them, especially Eric Jones, putting in these great performances this year because it really has been a rough first 2 years of ownership for Jimmy there. But it seems his vision, his long term vision, is starting to really pan out, and they're starting to get results with both drivers of both cars, which is good because I always did think that both drivers in those cars were talented, no matter how crash happy John Hunter Nemechek may be.
John Hunter Nemechek, though, has really turned things around this year for
He
sure.
has
I think he was like 35th in points last year, somewhere down there.
around
And
that.
this year, and by the way, just announced he had Pye and Barker have announced that they will be returning for 14 races next year, which also confirms John Hunter Nemechek's
Wow, that's
return.
big.
Like, I
Hmm.
mean, Legacy also just signed Dollar Tree to extend through I think 2027 or 28. So
That's huge for them. That's their biggest sponsor. Lock it down.
yeah,
Good
yeah,
for them.
they got a lot, and with how they've
Hmm.
performed this year, I think that definitely helped out a lot. And then we also had some other notable things that happened. Zane Smith, uh, did he run in again with Carson Hocevar there? Like, because I saw the two of them had a confrontation after the race.
He didn't run into Carson, but he had gotten up to Carson to pass him, and Carson actually let him go. And then after the race, Carson walked up to him and said, "Hey, I know this probably doesn't make up for what I did, but I'll let you go here and cut you a break if you get to me." So it seems like Carson's starting to now really, even as a fan of his, I gotta say, I think he's really starting to realize that the way he drives doesn't make him a whole lot of friends, and sometimes he
No.
really just needs to cut a guy a break.
Yeah, I mean, if you go look at what Tommy Baldwin says every week on Door Bumper Clear, you can tell he's trying to get into his skin.
Mhm.
And then
Oh yeah,
he had a
I don't
run in
doubt
with
it at
his
all.
teammate as well. with Michael
Oh, really?
McDowell. Yeah, he had on
I
the
didn't know
last
that.
lap. He was making contact with Michael McDowell, and then gonna jump ahead to 22nd. It's been a season from hell for Kyle Busch this year.
It,
Like,
I didn't think
what
it could get much
happened?
worse than last year.
Like, it's like, does Kyle Busch just not have it in him anymore, or is it RCR? Like,
I
it could be
I want to
both.
think it's RCR. It could be
Cause,
both. I want to think it's RCR, but I
cause
didn't think it could get any worse from last season. And it feels like it really did. Like he's not. His fans can't even get a broken heart about him having a win slip out of his fingers because he's not even up there in the first place. And it's just I don't know what's going on. It's
he,
really sad to see. I hope things can turn around for Kyle.
he was running top 10 as well for a good amount of the race as well. I mean, this was the same
Mhm.
thing at Dover. He was running top 10 most of the day, and then something bad happens. Like, I don't know if it has something to do with his crew chief, Randall Burnett, or something like that, but like, because I know there's people now calling for Randall Burnett to be fired. I don't know if that's the smartest idea.
Mhm.
Maybe you could do a crew
I
chief swap, bring Richard Boswell over to the 8,
I'd
because
say try that because I
Rick,
don't think Randall Burnett's a bad crew chief, but maybe
no,
him and Kyle just aren't working well together. So it would we
yeah,
be worth a try to have Richard Boswell in the box because Richard Boswell did prove to be a good crew chief while he was with Chase Briscoe.
Chase Briscoe, and I mean
Mhm.
that really helped Briscoe's performance at Stewart Haas as well. Once Richard Boswell came on the box there, and I mean he's working with Austin Dillon now, and Austin Dillon has really seen a big improvement in performance this year as well. But I feel like it might be, if we want to help Kyle Busch out, maybe it's time to swap roles and give Randall the 3 just to see what could happen. And then if I go down the
Absolutely.
list, and like Kyle, he got spun by, well, I don't think he got spun. He got put in the wall by Denny. Like, Denny admitted it yesterday on Access Detrimental, even though it
Mhm.
looked like Ross Chastain got into him, he still went up into Kyle Busch going into turn 7, which, I
He
mean,
owned it.
yeah, Denny admitted I messed up. And then Chase
Mhm.
Elliott, he broke his streak of 34 consecutive top 20s. And because of that, all the Chase Elliott fans are now trying to blame Alan Gustafson, which
Oh, he's just the automatic scapegoat for them. Like
I'm sorry, he's second in points. Like, what
he's
else can
he's
you get
second
out
in
of it? Like, he's second in points.
I
Like, he
don't
has
think Alan
a win.
Gustafson. I like Chase.
No.
I don't think Alan Gustafson is a great crew chief, and he has cost them a few races. But calling for him to be fired automatically because of a bad result is silly.
Like,
Because
they
Chase
were left.
overall just hasn't had speed on the road courses in the next gen, and he hasn't been fast on road courses all year this
Yeah,
year. So I don't know what the expectation was.
I don't get it either. Like, he's second in points. He was leading the regular
Mhm.
season, and you want him
Yeah, he was.
fired? Like, come on. And Rick Hendrick is not a guy who's going to fire someone mid-year.
No,
When Dale
that's
Earnhardt
not Rick
Jr.
Hendrick's thing.
when Dale Earnhardt Jr. had what was his name, Lance McGrew, all the junior
Lance
fans,
McGrew.
he was not fired after mid-year. Lance McGrew was not
Mm-mm.
fired mid-year from Dale Jr. Like, I think the only thing I could actually see happen is like a kerchief swap with, say, Blake Harris. That's the only thing that Hendrick would even do if they
Right,
wanted to change something. Maybe they'd give Alan Gustafson to Alex Bowman and give Blake Harris to Chase Elliott. That's the only thing
right.
that, and I don't even think that's likely. Like, I'm giving that a 10%
I don't
chance.
see that.
I'm giving
I
that a
think Allen's staying with Chase.
Allen has won a championship with Chase Elliott,
Hmm.
and
That's a
and
duo that's
and
not going to be broken up.
almost in 2022. So, like,
Hmm.
getting rid of Alan Gustafson is not going to fix anything. Like,
No,
because Alex Bowman also hasn't, because Alex Bowman is a lot lower in points than Chase Elliott is right now. So, like, I don't think that's gonna.
absolutely.
I mean, it
I
may
feel like a
help. It
swap.
might help. It might help Alex Bowman though if they gave him Alan Gustafson.
I
But
think it would.
and while Blake Harris is a really great crew chief as well, like,
Mhm.
why would you give him to Chase Elliott? Like there's no chemistry between the two. It's
There's
always been
no
ever
reason to
since
do that.
yeah, ever since Chase Elliott moved up to Cup, he's had Alan Gustafson on the box the whole time,
Yes.
except for like getting suspended and such. But like,
Mhm.
I don't understand what all the Chase Elliott fans want. Like, they were laughing the same way we just were on Door Bumper Clear yesterday, saying, "What are they like? You're second in points. Why would you like?" I'm sorry, but like, why would you change that? All right,
It,
and then
they're just trying to find something.
we mentioned Justin Haley as well, how he could potentially be on the hot seat. Uh,
Mhm.
Ty Dillon, he finished in 30th, but I bring that up because he just signed a new sponsorship deal with DraftKings,
Wow.
which
Oh, I saw it. Yeah, good for him. That's huge
that
for him. Any sponsorship's great for him in college.
yeah. But what's interesting is that they basically left 2311 for Colleague, which I mean, I'm curious if maybe
I don't understand that one.
Ty Norris helping get sponsorship to the team could help, or maybe it's DraftKings saying thank you for finishing in the second in our bracket challenge, because
It could
because DraftKings
potentially
because DraftKings
DraftKings could potentially see Chumba Casino as a competitor.
maybe, you know what, I could see that, but at the same
Mhm.
time like Colleague, as to why they picked Colleague, remember, DraftKings was the presenting sponsor of the in-season tournament. So I
Mhm.
think DraftKings
That is true.
really was like, you know what, you finished second in our whole thing. Let's throw money at you. So
A
they're
little bit
doing
of a
two
reward.
races. They're doing two races. I think Kansas is one of them. No, I think it's Gateway in New Hampshire. It's somewhere around there in the playoffs
Something
that they're
like
doing.
Gateway in New Hampshire.
I
Hmm.
think so. And then John Hunter Nemechek also got wrecked out. I mean, it seemed like there was some teammate beef as well. Well, he ended up finishing the race. By the way, for we've had two races in a row where the whole field has finished the race. That is incredible.
That's huge. That's actually huge because we've had some backmarker cars that don't have the resources everybody else has for these races, and even they're managing to finish these races. That is a huge deal. That's big.
Yep. And when we
Mhm.
talk about John Hunter Nemechek, like, well, we already mentioned that. Ty Gibbs also finished back in 33rd. They wasn't he arguing with Chris Gabehart on the radio? Like, I don't get what was
Yeah.
going on there.
It, I Ty. I like Ty, and from what I can pick up with him, he loses his temper in the car very easily, and once he melts down, it's hard to get him back in line. And because he has these meltdowns in the car, it just takes him out of the zone, and he gets these bad results. He
Yeah.
just needs to get out of his own head more than anything. And I don't think arguing with Chris Gabehart is going to help him at all. But I think that's why Chris Gabehart's been with the 54 team so much. He's trying to tame the beast that is Ty Gibbs and
Yeah.
try to get him to keep his cool and finish these races out.
Yeah. And I'll then jump down to Josh Berry. He was the only, I believe, the only caution that was not for the stages. He went around. I think they,
Mhm.
I think the reason that they waited on the caution because he didn't really hit the wall that hard, and they're expecting him maybe to drive away, but it ended up being too long because we know NASCAR doesn't want to throw the
Right.
caution if instantly on a road course because that would kind of annoy
Yeah, no, they've
people.
never done that.
It
Hmm.
would annoy people. And I mean,
Right.
and then I'll keep going down the results here. I mean, Catherine Legg, uh, I know there wasn't really a lot notable from her in this race, but I wanna give a shout out to my buddy John S for spotting the being one of the spotters for the 78. He does such a great job in this sport. I mean, he's been a
That's awesome.
spotter. He spotted the 78 at Chicago as well when they got a top 20, I think. Like,
Hmm.
I really want to give John a big shout out for what he's done as of late because he's really been
Absolutely.
being a
And Catherine's been, I feel like it's gone relatively, I wouldn't say relatively unnoticed, but I don't feel like it's gotten as much attention as it's deserved. But she's really been doing well, and she's been bringing home these cars clean and bringing home solid results, especially for the quality of her equipment.
yeah. And Catherine Legg also, I mean, and this came from John as well. Catherine Legg was running lap times as good as the second place car towards the end of the race. Like
That's huge for
that
her.
that that's big. Like
That is big.
And like
She's
Cat,
talented, and people just don't give her flowers when they should. She's gotten a car into the Indianapolis 500. She can wheel a race car as good as anybody else can.
yeah, and I also loved the I also loved the scheme JJ Yaley ran this week as well, the Syracuse, because my aunt went to Syracuse,
Mhm.
and I mean, I know people from my old high school who went to Syracuse, who go to Syracuse now, or just people I've known in general who go there. So, shout out to Syracuse for putting up that deal. And
Right. I
I don't know
love
if it's
the
just
college cars.
now I don't know if it's just me, but has Kyle Larson been on a slump as of late? He finished last, but like I feel like the last few races Kyle Larson has not been there. I don't know if they're trying to save stuff for the playoffs or if he's just
I don't
struggling
know.
himself.
I feel like he's really honestly been in a slump since the double, because the
Maybe.
double went about as bad for him as it could have went, and just since then he's not been the same. I haven't seen him competing up front as much, and he just seems to have, I guess, lost confidence somewhat. Of course, he's been dirt racing, winning dirt races, and that builds it back up some, but I feel like his confidence in himself just really hasn't been there since the double.
Yeah. And I think with that we'll move on to the other feeder series. I also want to delve into some of the other racing this week as well that we had.
Yes.
So with Xfinity and trucks, I mean this might be a hot take compared to other people. I didn't like either race
Oh yeah,
because
both races I felt were just complete wreck
it's
fests.
and this is one of the things in the title of this episode. Too many wreckfests. That's my issue. Like,
Mhm.
I mean, I know the cup race was not good, but I was relieved that they weren't trying to kill each other the whole time
Exactly.
because that's what it felt like. I mean, like if
Mhm.
I like Austin Hill for like the millionth time. I mean, he comes back now. I don't now just for the record, Austin Hill did not
Mhm.
cause the big one on purpose. I'm gonna throw that out there. This isn't as egregious
Right.
as what Noah Gragson did at Road America a few years ago. Oh,
Oh
by the way,
no, I
Noah
remember that. That was
Gragson.
awful.
It was 2022. But yeah, and by the way,
It
Noah
was.
Gragson just signed another new sponsor to the four car. I don't remember what it was called, but I just saw it this morning that they picked up another sponsor for the four
I
car.
saw
So
that too.
Austin Hill, like, well, that definitely was not on purpose.
Not good for him right now.
You can't race like that in a spot where you don't have a spotter.
Mm-mm.
And
No,
that
and I think he really, coming back from suspension, he's on thin ice, and I think that was probably the last thing he should have done. He should not have been that aggressive there. He could have really cut
yeah.
McDowell a break and just made a move the next corner and saved himself the trouble. But now, I mean, I know he, as for, I'm still on the fence for whether I believe he did it on purpose or not. He very well couldn't have, but because of the him being on such thin ice, maybe NASCAR view it differently.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not sure.
Now Elton Sawyer also this morning on the on Sirius XM did also say that it is unlikely he will be penalized because it was not intentional, which I get why, but I think that
Mhm.
NASCAR for the rest of the year, and they've done this whenever drivers get suspended, they are going to be watching almost every move he makes for the rest of the year.
Mhm.
And like they're like he's on full on he's like
They have their eyes on
he's
him.
basically on a watch list right now
Yes.
from the
Mhm.
officiating. And yeah, and I'll go before we talk about the Xfinity Series winner. I'll go down through some of the other results because I feel I want to save that for a more serious moment on the show.
Right.
So I'm gonna shout him out again. I shout him out almost every episode because he always gets a top 10 in the with the equipment he's got. Austin Green.
Mhm.
I shout him out almost every episode that he runs great in. Austin
He's
Green
been
getting
running
seventh,
fantastic.
and he had a hell of a wreck avoidance as well in that
Oh
wreck
yeah,
with
the
McDowell and the
mhm.
JGR guys. Like Austin Green, like this kid should be full time in Xfinity at
He-
this point.
he's really caught my eye because he's been running these road courses for the Jordan Anderson team since last year, And I feel like even back in his first race, which I think was Portland last year, I remember him running really well. And he's just consistently, pretty much every time he's gotten in that car, especially at a road course, he's ran fantastic. He should be full-time. He's very talented.
Yeah.
I look
He
forward to seeing what he does in the
was
future.
also announced that he will be returning at Portland as well in the 32, so he'll be a contender, I hope. And then if I go down through some more of the results, like Harrison Burton, the AM team has really picked things up as of late to try to boost the team into the playoffs. He gets another top 10, so great on Harris. Kaz Growler in the 24. Kaz Growler, he's a guy who should still be full-time in something.
He should be.
And I know road courses are his big thing, but he proved it again that he got with an 11th place. And if I keep going down through the results of this race, there were some other guys who had great runs, like Dean Thompson. He's been great this year. Brendan Poole, Jeremy Clements, like some other guys, like Stephen Parsons. I mean, it was nice to see him back in the Xfinity Series in the 45. I was a little surprised to not see Brad Perez, but I always love seeing Stephen come back. And then the Gase cars, 20th and 21st.
That's huge for them. That's massive for them.
I don't think they even had a sway bar in the 53. Or something like that.
That is huge for the Gase team because they're one of those teams that you typically see towards the back of the field that are working on a small budget. They're one of those few small teams that we have left. We don't have very many of them left, so I really choose to appreciate the ones we do have left. They're one of those, and I'm very glad to see them have a successful day like that. That's basically a win for them.
And I love the name rail that Austin J. Hill had on his car. The real Austin Hill. Did you see that name rail? Like it had the real.
That's very cool, though.
That's the name rail of the car. The real Austin Hill. And at the same time, though, I feel bad for the guy because someone on Facebook went out and attacked him in the comments of how his race went, and they were like, "You just wrecked the whole field." And then he was like, "You're talking to the wrong Austin Hill."
He had the run of like, I'm not that Austin Hill. I would say he's probably the more liked Austin Hill right now.
And Glenn Reen also. I'll talk about him a little more on the show a bit later, but I love Glenn Reen. I'll talk a little bit about him later on the show, but when we talk about the ARCA stuff. But I love that. I love this guy as well. And then we go through some of the other results, like there were a lot of guys that got collected in that wreck towards the end, like. I mean, McDowell, like Sawalich, and I feel for Sawalich because he's turned things around so much as of late.
He has, and nobody's given him his flowers for it. He's really turned his performance around. Sometimes people need to realize, yes, he struggled bad, but sometimes, especially that jump from ARCA straight to Xfinity, that's a big jump. And sometimes these young guys who've just turned 18 just need some time to get acclimated to the higher competition level.
And he was running great. He was like top 10 all day. And I feel bad because like road courses are like his best tracks as well, from what I've gathered.
Yeah,
and this
is
how he's ran on the road courses in ARCA as well. Like he always, when I was like, he's really good on these road races. And I was also really scared as well seeing some of these guys pile into that wreck, like the DGM cars. Like
it was very scary.
Thank goodness for DGM building such great race cars, because what I saw the damage on Ryan Ellis's car, that was really scary.
It was the windshield. I've never seen the windshield bend like that before. That's the worst spot to have a stack up because of how the wall's narrow. There's nowhere for people to go to avoid these wrecks, and everybody just piles in.
And that's what, and I know other people like Jordan Bianchi have advocated for this before, but they got to put a spotter stand in that spot on the track, because
they do. They absolutely do.
They need to put up a spotter span there. I hope they do that for 2026. And
me too.
We also, and I mean, people were also debating over Shane Van Gisbergen's incident, which that I'll just say that was not intentional either, but still still definitely a mismanagement on Conor Zolsch's behalf. But the biggest disappointment, though, with the race was seeing the Lizard car finish last.
I love the Lizard car.
Yeah,
so cool.
It only ran 4 laps. Like I hope at Daytona, Garrett Smithley, I hope you put the lizard on the car again at Daytona as a makeup.
If they don't got a sponsor, put the lizard back on the car. We want to see it
Lizard,
back.
lizard, 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 lizard,
I want to see
lizard,
it
lizard.
back. I hope
I
they
really
bring it
do.
back.
I mean, I sent that to friends who literally have no clue about the sport at all, and they loved it. Like they have no clue. They have no clue what they like. I have friends who literally don't watch the sport at all and don't even care about the sport, and yet when I sent the lizard car to them, they went nuts and started spamming lizard back to me. So like, I just want to kind of mention that as well. So I also want to talk about, on a more serious note here for a second. Conor Zilisch wins the race, and then he slips trying to get out of the car and hits like his head or something. And
hit his head and broke his collarbone.
I'm still shaken by that, because for like the rest of the day after that, I was almost completely silent. And I nearly cried. Like, this was the hardest I felt personally since Ryan Preece had his flip at Daytona in 2023 in the 41. Like, this was one of the hardest moments. And I'm just going to go on another rant here. The amount of people who shared the video around, it was completely unacceptable. Completely unacceptable. And the people were also, and the people also were asking for it. Like, I'd rather not even see it. Like absolute shame on the people who sent the video around. And I don't even like that people are making memes. I know Zilisch is okay now. He only has a broken collarbone, but I'm really mad. I'm really mad that people are still making memes about it, and I'm pissed off that all these conservative influencers and other influencers were sharing it to try to profit and get views off of it. Absolute shame. Shame on you. Like, I'm still really mad about it. And it just was not a good day for racing either, because like,
it was a bad day for racing.
Because like, when that happens, like, I was just so shaken. And yesterday and on Sunday, and I'll just mention this, Jim Zilisch, Conor's dad, and I'm with Seriously Fast Motorsports. He sent our boss, Tom, a thank you note for calling out people on our page who were making fun of Conor. And you know what? I just want to, again, really thank all my buddies at Seriously Fast for coming together to stop these people from making fun of the moment, because it was completely unacceptable. This was something that should not have been joked about. And like, he sent a Jim Zilisch, like, he sent a thank you to us all. Like, so I'm just, especially Tom Luttermoser, my boss, who's been a co-host on the show before. So, Jim, if you're watching this, I just want to thank you as well for reaching out to us, because we really don't deserve people who are making fun of in a serious moment like that. So,
absolutely.
When it comes to Zilisch's injury, they did have to withdraw the 87 car, although from my understanding, and Justin Marks alluded to this in conferences at Watkins Glen, they withdrew the car mostly at the discretion of Red Bull, because from what it seemed like, Red Bull is very strict when it comes to who's driving their cars. And because of that, I think that because of that, they couldn't have put someone like Justin Allgaier in the 87, because Red Bull may not have liked that. And
Red Bull wants their athletes in their cars.
Yeah,
is what I kind of took from that.
Yeah, that's kind of what, like, and that's what multiple people were trying to imply as well. So I just wanted, and when it comes to the serious moments in the sport, I originally was going to save this for the end of the episode, but there was also from what I can remember, two really bad accidents. One, and I just want to send my tributes as well to Rob. I think the name's Robbie Brewer.
Robbie Brewer of Bowman Gray.
Yeah, Bowman Gray, or I think that's his name. But I just want to send here at this podcast, and everyone who's worked on this and put together this podcast here, 500 miles. I just want to send our well wishes to the families and friends over at Bowman Gray of Robbie Brewer. Like, I really,
Absolutely, my condolences too.
I really send my condolences to Robbie Brewer and his family, because that was really scary as well to see that we unfortunately lost him the other day at Bowman Gray. In
You always
addition,
hate to lose someone in
yeah,
the racing family.
yeah, it's really heartbreaking as well to see anybody, and like and this was a NASCAR sanctioned event, so like from what people were saying, this is like the first death at a NASCAR sanctioned event since 2009, when Carlos Pardo in the Mexico series lost his life in a crash. So like it just really, really upsets me that this happened. And then this was not NASCAR sanctioned, but at Owasso, I think it's Owasso Speedway, there was a car that hit the wall in a really bad angle as well. And from what the driver was released from the hospital recently, I think.
That's great to hear.
I think
great
so.
to hear.
I'm not 100% sure, but I think the driver's daughter,
Let's hope.
posted an update. He is, excuse me. From what it does seem like, he is still expected to make a full recovery. I don't remember the name, but I remember it was a 42 car. And I just wanted to kind of briefly talk about that, because it was a really upsetting moment for me to see. And
very much so.
Yeah, and then I hated to bring down the mood there, but I just felt we needed to get it out of the way. We needed to get it out of the way with, because it was really scary.
It's needed.
Now, a little thing about Watkins Glen as well. In addition to the thing with the spotters, they got to invest in safer barriers as well. I know I know the guardrails aren't as bad as concrete walls, but listen, like, safer barriers are needed at every track that can afford them. They are proven to be safe and effective in almost every way that we've seen. Like I had a rant about this back at Indianapolis when Almirola hit an area that was not a safer barrier. Watkins Glen, you got to put up safer barriers ASAP.
They do. They really need to
put up, and
especially,
I know it. Yeah.
Watkins Glen's owned by NASCAR, so they have the resources to put these barriers in. They just haven't done it yet.
Yeah, which I hope that they do consider it. And I think we'll move on to talking about the trucks, because that was a wreck fest. It felt like they were trying to copy Phoenix 2023 all over again, except on a road course.
Oh yeah, it was bad.
And I hate that, because trucks, in my opinion, has had the best racing this year.
They've had great racing this year. Not a whole lot of people have talked about it, because everybody can just focus on Fox and their broadcast quality.
Yeah, and I know that all the NASCAR Twitter people are not going to like me saying it, but trucks and Xfinity have swapped places this year. Like, Xfinity has not really had the best racing this year. It's been all about the trucks this year. The trucks have had such great racing this year, in my opinion.
Absolutely. I've loved the truck series this year. And I didn't get to catch that whole race, but I caught the end. And once it got to the end, it felt like it wouldn't end, because I went to hang out at the river with some friends, and I had it on my phone, and my phone died before the race ended because of how long it was taking them to finish.
Wreck after wreck after wreck after wreck after wreck we saw there. But
it was
Corey Heim, but just put this into retrospective. Corey Heim beat, I think, 6 leeches. Denny Hamlin,
I think so.
Put this guy in Cup. Just put him in Cup. I don't care. Find him away in Cup. Lease him somewhere. If you can't put him in one of your 3 cars, put him in Cup. If you're going to beat 6 leeches, put him in Cup. He beat Christopher Bell, Sammy Smith, Connor Zilish, William Sawalich, Chris Buescher, who else? Kyle Busch, and Ross Chastain. Those were all the leeches in the field. Put him in Cup now.
He needs to
or
move
Xfinity.
Up. He's proven himself.
Or Xfinity at the bare minimum. Put him in something.
I've heard he's moving up next year to at least Xfinity, but I feel like there's a perfect spot opening up for him in Cup. Legacy Motor Club, by all means necessary, is trying to get a 3rd charter.
I've heard Jesse Love's more favored for that, from what it seems like.
That's a great opportunity for him too. But I would say, in my opinion, if I were Jimmy Johnson, I would love to lease Corey Heim from 2311
for a year. Yeah. And
for a year.
if I go down the results of trucks, like I know people were also criticizing Daniel Hemrick for not racing Heim that rough, but Daniel Hemrick's not a guy who drives aggressive. Like, do you know why he had the lowest DNF rate last year in Cup? I think he did. He was always clean. Like he ran he completed the most laps last year in Cup as well. Daniel Hemrick is such a clean driver. Like, and I don't think people give him enough credit. So if I go down the results as well, I mean, Christopher Bell got 4th. I mean, we also had Sammy again. Zilish Zilish on Dorb, I'm clear, also called the series a mess because people kept wrecking him, or he kept getting caught up into things. Matt Mills also had a great finish, benefiting from all the wrecks because he got another top 10. So nice for Matt there. That's a great run
for him. He needed that. He really needed that.
Yeah, Matt Mills needed that for sure. And then I want to shout out Wesley Slimp as well because he came back all the way up to finish 12th after he didn't really have the best day at Lime Rock. That's a great result for him. Yeah, and then we also had the debut of Brent Cruz Racing. He came at 7th. Spencer Boyd got a top 20 out of avoiding all the madness.
Huge
and then
result for that team.
Derek White, I mean, the little engine that could gets a top 20.
That's a huge result for MBM, especially because I had seen some videos sent to me of that truck at the track, and it was moving, but that's about all it was doing.
Running. But Derek was in, I think, practice and qualifying. They were like 10 seconds off the leader, and he gets a top 20. So like the little engine that could, I'm just really happy for Carl Long.
Stay in there
because everyone loved. I don't know a single person who does in this sport who does not like Carl Long.
I love MBM. I love Carl Long.
Yep. And then going down, Andres Perez also had like probably the best race of his career. We'll talk about him when we preview Richmond. We'll talk about him a little when we preview Richmond. But if I go down through some of the other results, I mean, there were a few unfortunate DNFs, like Parker Kligerman in the return of the 75, Caden Honeycutt in the 02. Kyle Busch can't even catch a break in trucks. He finished last. And then I feel bad for William Lambros as well, because he was actually beating guys like Matt Crafton on pace in a Rayome truck, and then mechanical issues came up. Like, I hope Lambros gets another race at the Roval, because he could probably show more of his stuff there. And then we'll talk a little bit about ARCA as well here. A 15-year-old wins. And I feel old. I feel old. I'm 19. And a guy who's
I feel ancient.
And a guy who's born in 2010 just won a race. And I'm 19. I feel old.
That's off to him. That's great for him and for his stock and his career. From what I take it, some online already don't like him. I don't have much of an opinion because if he does something stupid, at the end of the day, he's just a kid.
Yeah, I mean, he's 15. And then there were some other great finishes. I feel bad for Brent Cruz though, because he was leading the whole race and then he had a mechanical issue.
I feel awful for him. That was one that got away.
He still finished last on the lead lap though, but like 15 seconds behind because he came back out. He came back out on the last lap. And then Tyler Reif also had a great race because this was a race that the Sigma Performance team really needed because they've been struggling in the past few races. So I'm really happy for Tyler Reif and Joe Farray. Joe Farray, really nice guy as well. I mean, he's helped out with rebuilding and cleaning up the Francis Scott Key Bridge when that collapsed. Joe was a great guy. Apparently though, on the last, and then Chris Wright finished in third. I thought Chris Wright was about to win the race. I genuinely thought.
I didn't get to catch it, but I'm glad he did.
Chris Wright came really close to winning the race, but Chris Wright,
that would not have been popular.
He also nearly caused a wreck there with Dale Quarterly towards the end. Which Dale Quarterly, though, what a save from him. I'll talk a little bit more about Dale in a second, but Chris Wright, and then according to a friend who was at the track, my good buddy Bryce my good buddy Bryce, apparently after the checkered flag, Chris Wright tried to wreck the 23.
Oh,
I don't
that's
know if there's video of it, but according to Bryce, Chris Wright tried to wreck the 23 after the race. And then we'll talk about the guy who I said I was going to talk about, Glenn Reed. Glenn Reed. He built this car in his garage after saying he told me at Lime Rock he wasn't sure he was going to make it to Watkins Glen. And
he made it.
he made it, and with the help from Class Motorsports and run the 71, he gets a 4th place run and he's put so much into this effort. He built the car in his garage in Connecticut or wherever he's from.
Where
So
there's a will, there's a way.
I love this guy.
Way.
Like Glenn Reen, I really hope we see him on track more
That's
of the time.
Awesome for Glenn Reen.
When I interviewed this guy at Lime Rock, when I came up to him, he instantly handshakes me. Like he's such a nice guy.
That's awesome.
And he did the interview. And when I interviewed him, I don't know if the Tom ever posted the interview. He interviewed me while he was drinking beer, or I interviewed him while he was drinking beer, or he had a beer in his hand or something. I love this guy so much. And then Dale Quarterly, you got to do it for Dale as well. He got 5th. And then
I love
Ryan,
Dale Quarterly. That's what ARCA's all about. Those guys like Dale Quarterly and Glenn Reen building cars in their garages and getting good results. That's what ARCA's all about to me. I love it.
Dale's got a really great sense of humor as well when I've talked to him before.
Mm-hmm.
And then Ryan Gemmel, he got a 6th. Nice to see him coming back, and he had a great run as well. He had another close save as well in this race as well. I remember at Lime Rock, he had a great run as well. Andy J in his first race back, it's Michigan, 7th.
Awesome result for him too.
Yep. And if I keep going down the results here, I feel really bad for Alon Day because he was at first everyone thought he was going to be the only challenger to the 18, and then he had a mechanical issue and was trapped a lap down for the whole race.
That's a tough break for him because he's been near winning so many of these races. He's had winning speed. That's a tough break for him. Real shame.
And Lawless also had a mechanical issue too, or something like that. And then some other guys had some decent runs. Trent Curtis in his first ever race. Casey Carden in the 86 car for Club. And the 86 has not had the best speed this year. And the 86 usually finishes many laps down. They only finished 3 laps down. So Casey had some really great speed. And I mean, I was really glad that Fox, as much as everyone hates on Fox, they highlighted what Alex Club's team came together to do to make it to the track. I love that as well.
I'm glad because that team, they operate on it's just what ARCA's all about. They operate on the most shoestring of shoestring budgets, and they make it because when there's a will, there's a way. And I saw they had that incident with their hauler crashing on the highway, and that's I don't know if it destroyed the car inside. I assume it did. That's terrible to see that happen to any team, but especially a team like that can be an operation killer. So it's awesome to see them pull through and everybody pull together and make sure they made it to the track.
Yeah, was nice. What was also pretty interesting seeing what was happening with Butterbean at the start of the race, because he came back out, but he finished 19 laps down, and had Lawless Allen not had his issue, that could have changed things up really bad in the championship battle, because Butterbean and Lawless are still really close together in the points. So it got really interesting there. And I mean, there were some other guys I know that had issues too. Failures. Like Matt Wilson, nice to see him back, as well as Ed Pompa. They also had some issues too. But I'll move on to, and then I didn't even mention it on the podcast last week because I completely forgot about it. It flew over my radar. There was an ARCA West race on Saturday night, which Greg Biffle came so close to winning.
He was close. I didn't catch it, but he was close. He was and he almost won.
Greg Biffle finished in 3rd, but he led over 50 laps, I think. And
I heard he did very well.
I really hope we see Greg run some more ARCA races or just anything. Or heck, I would at Bristol, I would love to see Biffle race against Cletus McFarland, because the two of them are best. The two of them are best of buddies. We really got to see Cletus versus Biffle in a race.
I agree. We have to. And I also wanted to point this out real quick while we're still on the topic of ARCA West. I'm hoping they can just get some bigger entry lists soon because they had
Oh, yeah.
12 cars for this weekend, and that
Yeah.
made me sad because they used to get much higher car counts than
They
this.
still put on a decent race, I will say. Which, I mean, is what I love about the West guys. Like, they're all usually running at the same... a lot of them are around the same budget out West, so I'm really...
They really put on the show out there.
Yeah, Kyle Keller also got that win that's been really elusive for him. So, I'm really happy for Kyle Keller because Kyle Keller was able to really get it done when needed, and he finally picked up a win. Jake Bowman, though, feel a little bad for him because he lost it there and wasn't able to get 100 out West for so Joe's phone just died, but we'll try to get him on. We'll try to get him back on in a second. We'll try to get him back on in a second, but I'll keep going here. I'll keep going here just to kind of get some more things out of the way with before we let Joe get back here. I also want to talk a little about IndyCar here. So on the IndyCar side of things, Alex Palou has clinched his fourth title in IndyCar, tying the likes of guys like Dario Franchitti and Sebastian Bourdais, I think, who've also, I think, won at least 4 titles across IndyCar, across what also used to be Champ Car and Kart. But Palou is going to go down as one of the biggest legends over in IndyCar, so I'm really happy about that. And I thought the race at Portland was also kind of decent as well, because over in Portland, seemed like it was a decent race. And you know what? Will Power gets it done. He finally gets Penske a win that they've been looking for all year long. And at the age of 44, Will Power still was able to get it done. So I'm really happy about that. And this could also be a statement win, because it could also be telling Penske, hey, I want to stay here, and I don't want to get dropped, because, you know, there's been all the rumors that David Malukas could take over the 12 car there. So I'm just really happy with how Will Power was able to get it done, and he's still got the power in him as well.
Absolutely. I think Will Power, I think it's crazy that he's even discussed as being out at Penske, because I feel like he's still been their best driver this year, and he still can perform at a championship level, and the teams are struggling overall. I hate to see these conversations even around him, but I'm glad he's been able to show people, hey, I can still get it done. I can still do this.
Yep, and there's also talk about Portland likely extending on the IndyCar side of things, which is great to hear about.
That is great.
In terms of the race, though, I mean, I thought it was pretty decent. I mean, Prema finally got another great result with Callum Ilott. And,
they did.
Yep, they got 6th. And, I mean, it was also interesting seeing Graham Rahal finish in 3rd as well, because the Rahal team has been off this year. I think,
that's the result he really needed.
The biggest unfortunate thing, though, from the race, which was probably what happened with Conor Daly, because that was unacceptable. Like, I think it was terrible. Christian Rasmussen. I don't know if it was intentional.
It was Christian Rasmussen.
I don't know if it was intentional or not, but I watched the replay, and that was unsportsmanlike, in my opinion.
It was. I think it looked pretty. I don't know for sure if it was intentional, but Conor Daly definitely thinks it's intentional, and I think either way it was a bad look, and he really should have been penalized for that move on Conor Daly.
Yeah, and just wanted to kind of get that out of the way with, because that was something I really did not want to see happen. I mean, some other guys had issues. Some other guys had issues like Joseph Newgarden and Pato O'Ward, which as a result of that was able to help Palou lock up the title, which 4th title in his career, 3rd in a row. Like really big day for Alex Palou, regardless of him not winning. That's huge for Alex Palou. Yeah, regardless of him not winning. And I know there's people saying, why isn't he in F1 now? He's too good for IndyCar. Well, I would rather be winning in IndyCar than running 10th every week in F1. Let's be honest here.
Right. I want to win.
I want to win. I don't want to run 10th in F1. Like that's just reality. like in my opinion. So
Exactly.
I want to kind of segue into Richmond, into going into Richmond for this week, because
Yes.
we actually have, and then also ARCA will also be going to the Springfield Dirt. We may not. There is some. I don't think the entry lists though for that race have released, so not really going to be able to talk about that race that much. But there are still some interesting entrants. We'll go from top to bottom. So we'll start with ARCA at Springfield. Their first of 2 dirt races of the year. From what I've heard, it's looking like potentially low 20s in the car counts, but still some interesting entrants that we're looking at. Brent Cruz is going to be running in the 70 for it looks like for
Interesting. For Nitro Motorsports?
yeah, like which that could easily be a big day for Nitro Motorsports in both dirt races, because Brent Cruz is
Yes,
known to
absolutely.
dominate, because he has dominated these dirt races for
He
sure.
really has. He
And
really has.
it's awesome. But I would keep my eye though on some other guys that are coming over for the dirt, like Kelly Kovsky, who's come close to winning these dirt races before as well. He's returning.
Yes. I was just
Kel-
about to mention him. He's driving for the 16
16.
team. Is that still Allgaier's team? I remember
No,
that used to be Justin Allgaier's
it
team.
used to be. I think it's Kelly's own stuff now.
That's awesome to see him come over. I love seeing him there. And I see Brent still supports him. I also saw Max Reeves is going to be with the Joe Gibbs team in the
Yep,
18 car.
yep. We also have some other notable entrants like Sean Core returning. Nice to see Sean back after a
It's
really
nice to see
hard
Sean back.
hard crash at Daytona. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Also, an interesting entrant is Joe Cooksey in the 86 car for Club. I'm interested to
That
see
is
how that's
interesting.
going to go, because Joe Cooksey, he's raced in ARCA since 1996. And I mean, really nice to see Alex Club picking him up to drive that car. Just don't hit the pace
Love
car
seeing
again.
these older guys out here.
Don't hit
Yeah,
just
anything but that.
don't hit the pace car again, because it's unfortunate, but a lot of people unfortunately remember him for hitting the pace car in that ARCA race at Daytona in '99. I mean, just don't hit the pace car. That's all. But don't hit the pace car. But Joe, though, he's had really great runs on the dirt races in general. I think one year he finished 3rd on the dirt, so it's something that could maybe be something. Well, I'm curious though how guys like Butterbean are going to run on dirt, because I don't.
Hmm.
Has Butterbean
Guys who
ever run?
really
Has Butterbean ever ran on dirt before? I'm
um
not sure.
from what I know, I don't think he has. But I'm now that I'm on my PC, I'm gonna look it up. I don't believe he has. He's ran dirt late models before.
Okay. And then there's also guys like
Hmm.
Sam Corey returning. Nice to see him back. Dale Shearer, I
Hmm.
know, is back. So a lot of guys coming back for the dirt. Now, I will also. So Richmond will be the main focus for the rest of the show here. When it
Yes.
comes to Richmond, we actually have 3 series going to Richmond. In addition to Cup and Trucks, we also have the Whelen Modified Tour joining them at Richmond. They are going to be running on Thursday night. I believe they
Yes.
have. I believe they have 24 cars entered for that race. Uh, and there are some notable entrants. I mean, like, and former Cup guys, even current ones. Like Ryan Preece is racing in the 40 car.
That's huge for
That's
that series. A lot of
getting
attention for them. That's
getting
good.
Ryan Preece back running. Corey LaJoy is also running.
Hmm.
He ran at North Wilkesboro. Nice to see another big name running in the modified tour. Ryan Newman again. He's run some races this year. He'll be in the 4 car. He's got sponsorship from Bass Pro Shops as well.
Hmm.
Yeah, there's some
I
other
love
notable.
this. I love
Some
to
other.
see these big name guys really going and racing the modified tour here while they have a chance to it when they're with everybody else at Richmond, because
Yeah,
it really puts a spotlight on that series that I feel like they need.
yeah.
I hope to see the same thing happen when the modifieds come to New Hampshire when we go there.
I think you probably will. Like Ryan Preece
Hmm.
usually runs that race at New Hampshire. And then there's some
Yes.
other entrants in the field, like Danny Bond. Nice to see him back, because he hasn't really run
Hmm.
in the tour for that much. So nice to see so
Nice
many
to
of
see
these
Danny
guys.
Byrne back.
Yeah, because he's a great dude as well. So
Hmm.
I mean, there's some other guys coming from the Smart Tour as well, but I just wanted to kind of put a highlight on the Wheel and Modified Tour, because that's something else that I just really enjoy seeing out of that. So we'll now talk about the
Absolutely.
Truck Series. In the Truck Series, we got 37 trucks, which means that one truck will DNQ. I'm a little surprised to not see the 90 truck back, because this is Justin Carroll's home race. That's that 90
I
team's
am
home
too.
race.
It's been a while. I feel like it's been a while since we've seen that team.
Yeah, it
I
has
almost
been.
wonder if maybe they've hit some sort of financial issues or something.
I hope
So
not,
it'd be
because
great to
Justin.
see some sort of update on that team to
Yeah,
see if they're doing
I
all
hope
right.
not, because I've talked to Justin before. Awesome dude. Really awesome dude as well there. So if I go down the entry list in terms of notables, I whenever we do the entry list, we don't talk about the full-time guys unless it's something big going on there. We got Brett
Right.
Cruz in the one truck. The 02 truck is currently TBA. I don't know who will be in it. Jason Alexander is supposed to return at New Hampshire, and Nathan Bird is supposed to return at Darlington. Could be someone else. Maybe we'll see someone like Ben Meyer back, because I think this
I'd
is
hope
his
to see
home
Ben
race.
Mayer back
Because
because he's a talented driver and he's
absolutely
been running the Cars Tour recently. I'd love to see Ben Mayer get another chance to go do something because, like you said, it's his home race.
He had a great run in the trucks at Lime Rock as well. He finished
At
top
Lime Rock,
20
yes.
there. And then we also have Stephen Malozzi in the two truck. They actually swapped rides from the original entry list. It was
I saw
originally
he was 22. I love Stephen. I've known him for a while. I'm in an I know him on Instagram. Very cool guy. I love Stephen. Shout out Stephen.
All right. Norm Benning in the six truck. Again, I know Brody will love that. Because
I love Norm Benning.
Sammy Smith in the 7 again. This is an off week for Xfinity, so that's probably why we have some Xfinity guys coming over to run the truck race. Christian Eckes is also in the 16 truck. This is his first of 2 races in a 5th McAnally truck. He will also run the truck at New Hampshire. And they are also paying tribute to Shiggy Hattori as part of the deal, so that's great to see them doing that.
That's awesome to see them do that.
Clayton Green is in the 22 truck. Now, this was originally supposed to be a race that Cody Dennison was supposed to run in one of the 2 or 22 truck, but I think there may have been some sponsorship issues potentially there. I'm not 100% sure, but
I am not sure what's going on with Cody Dennison, but after seeing the the events that have transpired online, I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't see him around anymore.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know, but I think it's more sponsorship from what it seems like. But because he's been struggling with sponsorship recently, because he's been struggling with it recently, because he mentioned that he was low going into IRP as well, or something like that. And then we also have, and this is like one of the biggest news stories of the week, a change in 2 teams. We'll talk about Nice first. First off, Bailey Curry, we mentioned last week, he's going to race the rest of the year in the 45 truck. Andres Perez is now going to run the 44 truck for the rest of the year, after Spire Motorsports announced that they are going to be closing the 07 truck and moving Corey LaJoy, who was already scheduled to run races in the 07 truck, to the 77.
Yes. So from what I picked up on Spire, the current 77 team that is now with LaJoy is what was the 07 before.
Yes. And they also transferred all the owner points over. The 07 is 10th in owner points right now. So the 77, I think, was 22nd. I am curious if any of these truck teams are going to try buying the owner points.
I wouldn't be shocked if
I could see
they got bought. Somebody's going to go buy those.
And then, because of all this, Matt Gould also is in the 41 truck.
Yes.
And there also is a crew chief swap between the 41 and 42. Mike Shiplett has moved to the 41 truck. I forget the name of the guy who's running the 42 truck now, but the 41 running its first race of the year. But yeah, curious as to what's going to come out of Nice with that. Honeycutt also in the 52. We talked about that multiple times in the show. Door Bumper Clear also said he's probably going to the 11 truck next year. Luke Fenhouse in the 66 truck. Nice to see him back again.
Love to see Luke back.
Yeah, Luke gets the most that he can out of that truck, so I'm really happy to see him back. Ryan Rowlett in the 67 again. Another great dude there.
He follows me on Instagram. I love him. Shout out Ryan Rowlett.
Yeah, Ryan's a great guy. He served. He's an active duty Air Force pilot as well. Active duty.
That's awesome for him, seeing it and how he balances that and coming and running races still in both ARCA and trucks. Great for him.
Caleb Costner in the 74 truck. He's got Auto Owners Insurance sponsoring the truck, and he's also got a small associate sponsorship from a popular NASCAR Discord server called Beyond the Garage. I'll just mention that right there. They got a sticker on the truck. But yeah, nice to see Auto Owners on the 74 truck with Caleb Costner this week. LaJoy, we mentioned 77. Patrick Staropoli, nice to see him back. By the way, he's one of the nominees for the Hoosier Hero program.
That's awesome for him. Congrats to Patrick Staropoli for that.
Yeah, and he's one of a bunch of notable names that are being nominated, and you can vote for up to 4 people. I don't remember when voting closes for that deal for the Hoosier Hero program, but you could also vote for guys like Andy Jankowiak, Joey Coulter, my buddy Cameron Caraway, I think Minnie Tyrell, who's been successful in Cars Tour. A lot of different guys you can vote for in that program.
Recently. Shout out Minnie Tyrell. He's been successful recently.
Yep. But yeah, Staropoli will also be running some more races in that truck. He's going to run at Martinsville as well in the 84 truck. He also has more Xfinity and ARCA races slated for the rest of the year. And then Carson Kvapil, this was a surprise to me. The 97 truck is back.
That was out of nowhere.
That was out of nowhere. I was not expecting that at all. But Carson Kvapil in the 97 truck, I was not expecting to see that. And in terms of the D&Qs, though, from my understanding, if qualifying were to get rained out, they would go, because the 16, 97, and 41 all have no owner points, although Christian Eckes can lie back, I believe, on the past winners provisional. So the 16 could be locked into the field. But if the qualifying gets rained out, and we have no practice either, if we have practice, they go by practice speeds for owner points for the tiebreaker there. But if this gets canceled, they go to a random draw between, I believe, the 97 and 41, because I think the 16 gets in off of the past winners provisional. So the last thing we'll talk about is the Cup, is what's coming up with Cup. So in terms of notable entrants, so we have the 33 of Jesse Love, the 67 of Corey Heim, and the 44 was listed but is no longer listed, so I think the 44 has withdrawn from Richmond.
That's unfortunate for them.
They did not have a driver or sponsor listed, but that team has withdrawn from the Cup entry list, it looks like. But I'm really curious to see, though, how Corey Heim is going to do. Same with Jesse Love in the 33, because those are both two of the biggest prospects in the sport that everyone should have their eyes on. But as for how the racing's going to go, Richmond, and I know you're going to be there, Richmond, I think, is actually probably right now the best short track we got with the next gen, because
it's been great with the next gen car. I think the extra tire compound last year really elevated it too and made it very fun. I'm kind of disappointed they didn't keep doing that, honestly, because I really liked that personally.
But Richmond itself with the next gen has actually put on some decent racing. Like
it has.
I would argue even better than the Gen 6 at Richmond, which I mean, it's interesting because the Gen 7 doesn't put on good racing really at Martinsville or Bristol.
At all.
At Martinsville, only in the fall usually. But I think what happens... but I think when it comes down to this, though, with the next gen at Richmond, I feel like the amount of lines you can run has helped Richmond with the next gen, because the next gen works at tracks where there's more lines to run, and I think that's why Richmond usually has better race, and it's also a night race too. Next gen also has been proven to put on better races at night compared to during the day. So I think I wouldn't sleep on this weekend. It's also a Saturday night. I mean, the fans really want to see more races on Saturday night, so I'm glad that NBC was able to come to an agreement with NASCAR to run this race on Saturday night. We love seeing more night races in the sport, so I'm curious how Richmond's going to go. I mean, Bob Pockris also tweeted that they are running the same tire that they've ran at Martinsville and a few other shorter tracks. They did not run
That's
this
gonna be
tire.
interesting.
They did not run this tire at Iowa, so I am expecting probably a lot of tire wear. I mean, I would love it if they ran option tires every short track or almost every track, to be honest. But I think that, but with the history Richmond has with tires, I'm not too worried, in my opinion.
No, I'm not too worried about it. I don't think anything significant will come out of it.
And they ran this tire at Bowman Gray in North Wilkesboro as well. So, in my opinion, I'm not going to be too worried really about the racing because Richmond, I know that it's hurt the short tracks a lot, but Richmond seems to be the one short track where it's kept up to at least a positive standard for fans.
It's been at least passable at the minimum
for in terms of the next gen racing with Richmond. So
Absolutely.
I think though but I don't think there's really anything else going on in racing. I mean, that I could remember. I mean, unless you got anything, Joe.
I do have one thing, and I don't know how many people who are watching this really pay attention to the dirt world, but today, Tony Stewart Racing let Donnie Schatz go after, I think, 18 years of him being there?
Yes, 18 years, 1 day, exactly, to when he was last when he first signed with the team. That is big, and everyone thought Donnie Schatz was going to be with that team for his entire career. So
I thought so. I thought he was going to stay there for as long as he wanted to stay there.
Yeah,
and I know they've been struggling recently. They dumped Ford engines off and everything, but that's huge to see them get rid of him.
Yeah, that is massive. And then there was also a weird moment I saw, like at some short track in, I think, Canada.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was in Canada, but like I saw a really weird moment where like a safety truck came down on someone. I don't know the full story of that, but you can't do that.
You can't have that happening.
Yeah, that was a really weird moment. And I'm not sure if there's anything else on the top of my head, but I kind of wanted to bring that up maybe to wrap up because I know they talked about it on Door Bumper Clear as well. But as far as I know, oh yeah, and we also had Canada race this weekend as well. Andrew Ranger actually picked up his first win of the year, so nice to see that.
I'm surprised it took him this long.
I'd love to see Ranger run another race soon.
I'd love to see him back in a truck at a road course. I remember he used to be one of those road ringers all the time.
I would love to see that too. So that's going to be probably the end of this episode. Again, this was probably this was a fun episode, I thought. Thank you again, Joe, for coming on as a co-host for me. I know we went longer than I intended to, but when you have so much going on in the racing world, you got to talk about it, and that's what we do on 500 Miles. The show's called 500 Miles. We go on for 500.
500 miles.
Yeah. So,
thank you for having me on. This was my first time being on a podcast, but I had a lot of fun being on here and talking about the sport with you. And it has been a big news week. There's a lot happening, especially in trucks with the whole Spire ordeal with them downsizing the team.
Yeah, Spire and Nice. What's gonna happen next? So again, we'll wrap up in a second. My name is Adam Relkin. To those of you who normally watch in, joined by Joe Staubs this week. We'll see you guys next week. We'll have another co-host to review Richmond and preview Daytona. So things are starting to heat up. So we'll see you guys next week, hopefully. Have a great night, everyone.
Goodbye.